basically, I just wanted to do a video about what it's like to be at university at a very like structural general level, and also about the wonderful benefits of a gap year. First off, how studying at university actually works. So we all come from like a pretty controlled environment where you go to school for like half of your day, everything's put out for you, people tell you this is what you need to read for then, and they check up on your homework. There's a lot of like people making sure you're doing your stuff, which isn't the case for university. We have a lot less classes. I think I had about 15 hours a week during my first semester, and that was for my degree, which is media production, was split over 3 different things. So I had my lectures, I had workshops, and I had seminars. In our lectures, we would sit and listen to somebody talk, give a lecture on something, and they would introduce us to some new concepts. Then in our workshops, we would apply these concepts, and then in our seminars, we read a text and discuss that, or discuss the concepts from the lecture. Now, in between this, we were supposed to do a lot of reading. I think everyone knows you're supposed to do a lot of reading, but the thing is, they don't actually tell you what reading to do. You get a reading list and they say, these are the essentials, these are recommended, and here's further reading. And from that, you have to go through and pick out and say, okay, from this lecture, I found this interesting, I'm gonna read this bit. Sometimes you will have set text, for example, for our seminars, but again, it's not something that we were explicitly told, it was in our module guide. So we had to go find it ourselves, and then on top of that, we were supposed to go out and find further reading, so we could just find other things that interested us and gain knowledge. And that reading is not any reading that we're being tested on, except for our essays, where they can tell whether or not you read, because you have to quote other people, you have to come with concepts that maybe hasn't been spoken about explicitly in your education, but they can tell then if you did further reading or not. And I think this concept of not explicitly being told what you're doing kind of shocked a lot of people, and it's not for everyone. There are people who don't function very well within that, and that's completely fine, because it does take a lot of discipline and dedication to go out and be like, okay, I'm gonna read this without explicitly being told to. That's quite a lot of university. They're like, here are the concepts, here are places where you can find about them, now go learn. Same with our workshops, they would introduce us to things and be like, this is how the tools work, now go and do it. And in our spare time, we then had to go and experiment and get familiar with it and get to learn it. So there's a lot of things you have to do yourself, and that's in like any degree. You kind of have to be ready to take responsibility basically for your own degree, because you're not going to have somebody who's going to like be standing over your shoulder and be like, you need to do this now. So if you don't do it, you just hurt yourself. And that's something I think is a really good mindset to get into before you go, and also to ask yourself, well, am I ready to take that responsibility? Am I ready to structure my own time and make sure I get the most out of it? Because if you're not, that's okay. Maybe university is not for you, and maybe it's not for you right now. And this is like the second part of it. I'm originally from Denmark. I'm home right now, which is why this background is my little brother's room, in case you're wondering. And in Danish culture, it's very often that you see people have like 1 or 2 gap years between taking their GCSEs and going to university. It's almost like expected that people are going to go off and either go travel, maybe they're going to move out and live on their own for a year, maybe they're going to work for a year, but just take a break from school to kind of get re-energized, first of all, because school can be very tiring sometimes, but also just to like experience life and grow up a little bit, to have like a year or 2 to have fun and not have all these deadlines looming over your head, so you're ready to jump back in and be focused and take charge of your degree. Because that year or 2, if you take in between, can do a lot for personal growth and can do a lot with the mindset that you come to university with. You only get out of university as much as you put in. So if you're not ready to kind of take control and structure your time and kind of be in charge of your own degree, you're not going to get as good as a degree as you would have been or would have gotten if you had been ready to do that and been in that mindset. So I think for a lot of people, you actually end up with a better result if you postpone it for a year. And yes, this is also an argument you can use for your parents if they're like, why are you not going straight to uni? It's not so much about doing it straight away, because then you just have a piece of paper saying you did it instead of actually getting qualifications from it. And the third thing is also to pick something you're interested in. Don't just pick a degree for the sake of it. Like, don't just pick media because you think it's a fun degree and it would be easy to do. Pick it because you're interested in it, because there is, in any degree you do, no matter how like non-reading heavy it seems, there is reading, and you will have to write essays, and that's just how it works. So pick something where you know this is actually something I'm excited about and I want to learn about it, because it's going to make your time there so much easier, instead of just picking something for the sake of it and being like, well, I have to go to uni, so I guess I'll do this. It's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your money, it's a waste of the people you're studying with's time, instead of maybe have taken a year out figuring out, what do I actually want to do? Who am I as an adult person? Gaining some life experience, and then going when you're ready to be excited and to take charge and get the best results you can possibly get. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I hope you have great, wonderful days without the societal pressure of getting a degree fast. Bye!